What's up gamers, it's me Fun Guy here, and today we're going to go over some of the topics discussed in the EA DICE livestream that aired yesterday. Those topics include the bots, the physics environment, the plus system for weapons, and of course, the specialists. Before that though, I'd like to go over an article that has been posted up on EA.com, and it actually gives us a backstory for Battlefield 2042. So I'm just going to read it out as it is on the page for you. Hopefully my storytelling skills don't bore you too much. I'll try and make it as quick as possible. Here we go. Welcome to 2042. As the world stands on the brink of war, a new kind of stateless soldier emerges from the greatest crisis in human history. How did we get here? A decade of chaos, 2031. 10 years is all it took to bring the world to the brink. Rising sea levels, collapsing economies, broken alliances, and the headlines keep rolling in. October 9th, 2033. Hurricane Zeta, the world's first Category 6 storm. January 11th, 2034. Global fuel shortages spark Second Great Depression. August 8th, 2035. European Union officially disbands following Germany's collapse. The rise of the NOPATs. Left behind, the displaced band together into ragtag fleets in search of safe harbour. They are families, farmers, doctors, engineers, and soldiers. The once privileged and the impoverished, with backgrounds that are worlds apart, forced together, determined to survive. The media calls them non-patriated. They call themselves NOPATs. The new normal. 2037. Humanity adapts to the new normal. Revolutions in energy, desert irrigation, hydraulic levees, and seawalls save coastal cities. Reclaim farmland and rebuild supply chains. Hope of finding stability leads to some nations reopening their borders. However, with no way to repatriate 1.2 billion people, NOPATs become a permanent fixture in all economic, military, and social policy making. Many NOPATs are still distrustful of the governments that exiled them, and refuse calls to re-assimilate. NOPAT leaders emerge, inspiring a new identity, unbound to form a nationality, drawing a line in the sand between the old world and the new normal. Hashtag #WeAreNOPATs becomes a rallying cry. Amidst the world rebuilding, sparks of friction erupt between the US and Russia, as the last two superpowers both vie for control of this fast-changing world. The blackout of 2040. A sudden space debris storm creates a Kessler effect, causing 70% plus of all orbiting satellites to malfunction and crash to Earth. The cause is unknown. The subsequent blackout causes mass devastation. Planes crash, communication grids collapse, already jammed global supply chains come to a standstill. Prices of oil, grain, coal skyrocket exponentially. Unsubstantiated claims report over 100,000 lives are lost. A world on the brink goes over the edge. No internet, no navigation, no surveillance, no storm forecasts. Geopolitical distrust surges overnight. No one can spy on each other, so no one can trust each other. Both Russia and the US claim the other is responsible for the blackout, while some suspect NOPATs were behind it and accuse them of trying to sow anarchy. Former military and combat-trained specialists amongst the NOPATs rise up into armed task forces to defend themselves as tensions rise. The brink of war. A food and fuel shortage ignites a shadow war between the US and Russia. To maintain plausible deniability, both sides field NOPAT task forces as proxies in escalating conflicts over resources, promising the refugees a piece of what's left. 2042. Open war is imminent. NOPATs have no choice but to choose sides, fighting not for a flag, but for their future. Their war is your story. So there you have it, gamers, the backstory for Battlefield 2042. I think that's pretty neat. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's get on to the other news pieces. Firstly, we're going to talk about the bots that are going to be included in the game. So first thing you need to know is they are going to be in the full multiplayer. Obviously, they're mainly going to be used as a way of practicing and when you're going to play cooperatively, but they are going to be used to fill up lobbies that aren't full. Now, the way I imagine this working is you join a server, maybe there's only 10 players, maybe you just open up a new lobby. The game then populates that server with bots, and as players join, those bot slots are replaced by actual players. That's the way I see it working. If you think different, again, let me know in the comments below. Now let's move on to the next topic, and that is the physics in the game. This was a brief mention, but they did say that things like the hurricane, the sandstorm, not only will they appear in different places and follow different paths, but sometimes they may not appear at all. So it's not just a set event like we were used to with Battlefield 4, of course. But these events actually happen randomly and in varying degrees of intensity. Next up was the plus system, and they talked about this at some length, but to sum it up, what they wanted to say was that they wanted to give the players more freedom to have a bit more choice with their weapons. So they felt that sometimes the weapon choices were a bit too narrow, and you could find yourself in different situations. So the ability to change out your attachments means it gives you a bit more flexibility on the battlefield. They did also point out, though, that there's no way to make an SMG into a sniper rifle or an AR into a machine gun. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility. So, now let's move on to the specialists. So, this was a topic that a lot of gamers had questions about. Like, why have they done it? How is it going to affect gameplay, etc.? Let's get into it. Firstly, the specialists are still based on the old categories. You'll just have a bunch of specialists that are in the medic category, a bunch of specialists that are based around the support category, etc., etc. Obviously, we are starting the game with 10 specialists, so there will be plenty to choose from to begin with, but with each, I think, DLC chapter or Battle Pass season, if you like, they'll be adding about 4 new specialists, so that means there's going to be a lot of them eventually, so there'll be plenty of choices. Now, each one of them obviously has their unique gadget, but then there are, I think, the class-specific, like, secondary gadgets that you can also pick. This would be things such as your ammo box and your med pack box, for example. Now, for me personally, that all sounds pretty damn great. I gotta say, I'm happy with all of that stuff. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to leave it at that for today. If you like the video, please smash that thumbs up button. And if you're listening to me for the first time, or maybe you've listened to a few of my videos now, maybe consider clicking that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. For now, though, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.